Now, man, on the same note, man, and we kind of strayed away from it a little bit, and that's on me. But we're talking about Boosie and Webbie. What about Webbie, man? How many interactions or what type of stories do you have in meeting Webbie?
You want G shit? Well, I'm gonna give it to you. Shout out to my nigga Webbie, man. Look, me and Webbie ain't really had too many interactions, you know. But I remember one time, cause you know, the CEO that I was signed with at that time, the nigga Beelow, that nigga had a shop that was in Webbie neighborhood, which called Shellwood. It's a Shellwood in Baton Rouge. So, Webbie used to come to the corner store called Albee's right there all the time. So, you know, I done seen him out there a couple of times. I dapped him down a few times. But me and Webbie ain't never really vibe with each other. But I f with Webbie and I salute Webbie. Me and Webbie ain't never really get a chance to vibe with each other. Like me and Boosie, me and Fat, me and Latrell, Big Head. I didn't vibe, yeah, man, Webbie never really got a chance.
True. You had more interactions with Webbie, right?
Yeah, with like mostly everybody else in Trill except Webbie and Foxx. Like I talked to them, like I talked to Foxx on the internet here and now, you know what I'm saying? I done bumped into Webbie here and now and talked to him at the store, but I never really had like no bond with Webbie and Foxx. But everybody else in Trill, yeah.
Okay. Now you said that you were assigned to Beelow. What do you think about what happened with Beelow back in 2005 when he got shot, man, in some kind of dispute?
When Beelow got shot, this is a crazy story, bro. I told this story probably to only my mama, bro. This is a crazy story. That day when Beelow got shot, bro, I was actually in Southside Baton Rouge in the bottom at the Boosie Bash. Well, I think during this time, they was calling it the Bottom Bash, if I'm not mistaken. I think during this time, they was calling the Boosie Bash the Bottom Bash. It's like a big event they do in the neighborhood. We all go to the Southside Bottom Baton Rouge. Everybody be outside, you know, just thugging. But I was actually at the fucking Bottom Bash where Boosie was at. So when they called me with that fucking bullshit, I'm like, man, I'm down here. Like, I don't know, like, you know, like, that was a crazy situation. I'm gonna say that. That shit was a crazy situation.
It was about some bootleg CDs?
Yeah, that's why I went on and got straight to it, because I already knew that it was coming to that bootleg CD and that bullshit shit. I already knew. When anybody come talk to me and mention Beelow getting shot, they always mention the bootleg CD shit and the bootleg. I already know where it was going. But with that shit, I can't, like, man, that was a crazy situation. Like I'm telling you, I was actually down there in the Bottom Bash where Boosie was at during the time of that. So that shit was a crazy situation, dog. I had got a call. They told me Beelow was shot. I left the Boosie Bands. I shot to the at this time they had a hospital open down here called Earl K. Long. I shot to the Earl K. Long, get there, you know, come to check on my big dog, you know, and you know, we'll see what's going on with him. But that situation was just a crazy situation, bro. That was a up crazy situation, but you know, I'm glad he made it though. That nigga made it. I'm glad he made it.
I mean, it's good that he made it out the situation for sure, man, because getting shot in the head, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy, man. Now, also, man, kind of in the same, like, you were signed to Beelow, right? Now, did you have any work with, like, the Happy Perez camp and Max Manelli and all those cats over there with CeeLo?
I can say this. Shout out to Big Dog CeeLo. Shout out to Big Dog CeeLo, bro. By the way, bro. Shout out to Big Dog CeeLo. I didn't have no kind of nothing with them, but I'm gonna say this though. I did when I had got that record deal with the song Jigga Juice when it popped out. I made sure I got Max Manelli and CeeLo both on the album that we had to turn into the record label. So shout out to Max Manelli, shout out to CeeLo. They both gave me some fire-ass verses. Max Manelli and CeeLo. I ain't lying. They both gave me some fire-ass verses. Both of them.
And similar to y'all, man, they had their own independent label, right? They were doing their thing. Like, at that time, was it just like a thing that everybody was making sure they had their own independent label?
I'm gonna be honest with you. During that time, right there, well, I'm gonna say this, when I came out, when I started getting into music and what I know of, the main people I was hearing, the reason I ended up going to Beelow, because I was only hearing of Beelow and CeeLo. At first, before Trill jumped in the game, because I was walking to the store one day, me and my mama, you know what I'm saying? We was walking to the laundromat. We was going to wash some clothes. I was 9 years old at this time. I'm 9 years old. We going to the laundromat to go wash some clothes. So she was telling me they got this guy named Beelow who do music or whatever, and she know I like music. So me and mama, we walked into the laundromat. She said, go over there and rap for that nigga and see if that nigga will sign you or like you. So I walked over there and I rapped for that nigga, you know what I'm saying? Same day that nigga said he was gonna with me. He got me a tattoo on my arm. I was 9 years old. Remember, I was 9 years old. I got a tattoo on my arm. I got a tattoo on my arm at 9. I got a tattoo on my arm at 9 years old that say Josh. You know what I'm saying? That's how I ended up meeting Beelow and go over there. And that's what made me want to with the rap. Because if you 9 years old and you get a tattoo, you like, man, this shit tight. This shit raw. But at the same time, I like the music. So I ended up keeping in touch with Beelow for years and years and years until he finally decided to put me out when I was 13. I did my first song with him, with Juvenile. But at first, it was only Beelow and CeeLo, bro. That's all I knew of was Beelow and CeeLo. Trill ain't had pop yet because Boosie was still with CeeLo at this moment. Yeah, Boosie was still with CeeLo, and I was fucking with Beelow. Then a couple years down the line, that's when Trill came about. So that's how I ended up with Beelow. As all we had was Beelow and CeeLo in Baton Rouge. We ain't had no big record label, no big building, no other artists that made a way out. We had Beelow and CeeLo before Trill.